What's good, Storm fans? Bryant Cook here, and today we're playing Rakdos Sacrifice Storm, a creature-based strategy, a little bit different from what I uploaded last week. So if you saw last week's Girl Storm video, this is similar but different, kind of like a cousin of that deck. And if you haven't watched it, check out the card above. It will have that video. It's highly entertaining, a really sweet turn 2 win featuring Dragon's Rage Channeler and Underworld Breach. Today's deck is different in the fact that we don't want our creatures to live. We have Shambling Ghast, which you want to sacrifice, and we have Unlucky Witness. On top of that, we have Experimental Synthesizer and Deadly Dispute, a popular Pauper combo currently, and it was the backbone of the deck that got Galvanic Relay banned in that format. Here, we're allowed to play it in Modern, not so much in Pauper anymore. So why are we playing Rakdos, right? Like, why would we want to play black just for Deadly Dispute? Well, we get to play 4 Demonic Tutor because they reprinted Diabolic Intent into Modern. So how can we abuse that? These creatures that we want to die do that pretty well, and people are unlikely to kill these on their own. It's just really not worth the time or resources. And unlike Gruul Storm or even Gift Storm, we want our creatures to die, and that's the weakness of those decks, is that they need their creatures to live. So here we have 4 Infernal Plunge to kind of break the rule on mana. We get a red Dark Ritual in this format. And if you watched that previous video on Gruul Storm, I mentioned how it's not a very good Empty the Warrens deck. This deck is a terrific Empty the Warrens deck due to Infernal Plunge. You will have more turn 2 Empty the Warrens than ever. And on top of that, Empty the Warrens in return makes more creatures that you can sacrifice to Infernal Plunge or Deadly Dispute, whatever you've got to do. So I think it makes a lot of sense. And when you have 4 copies of Diabolic Intent, you really only need 1 copy of Underworld Breach or Grape Shot in your deck. So that's what we're doing here today. Dwarven Mine is a card I've recently added in. I felt that there's been a couple games where I'm light on creatures to sacrifice, and Dwarven Mine fixes that for us. Because of that, I'm playing the Swamp in the sideboard. We really only want the Swamp in matchups where we're boarding in Blood Moon anyway. So here we get consistency with our Dwarven Mine at the cost of a sideboard slot, and to me, that's worth it. Another big payoff of playing black is you get Thoughtseize for those pesky control matchups. You get Feed the Swarm to blow up Leyline of Sanctity. Leyline of Sanctity, or I'm sorry, well, it does blow up Leyline of Sanctity, but I meant to say Leyline of the Void, because Leyline of the Void does shut off Shambling Ghast and Unlucky Witness. On top of that, it tends to be pretty standard. Jegantha the Wellspring, it is a card we're allowed to play, but it has a dual purpose in this matchup. I mentioned the Dwarven Mine because sometimes you're a little bit low on creatures. Jegantha is a free creature in our companion zone that we can sacrifice at any time. So you have to build towards it, but the option is there. I tried playing a league without it, and I missed it the entire time, so it's back. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below. I would greatly appreciate that. But for now, I'm going to hop on in and play match number 1. I hope to see you there. Members only content and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, early access to videos, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, such as theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation-decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first round. We've already revealed our Jegantha, and we've opened up a no-lander. Unfortunately, we need a mulligan. Okay, this is better. We will keep this and bottom the Desperate Ritual. We do need to draw land number 2 for this hand to really function, but I think that keeping this is acceptable and is better than going down to 5. So we're playing the Shambling Ghast and passing the turn. Temple Garden from the opponent into Aether Vial. Sure thing. Can I draw land? Ding dong. So we'll play that, and let's get in there. Hiya. And I'm just going to pass. Urza's Saga. I don't quite know what our opponent's up to yet. Another copy of their Aether Vial. Is this like a green-white in taxes? It might be. We'll fetch. I'm going to grab another copy of Blood Crypt. I want mana consistency here. Okay, and now we'll cast a Deadly Dispute, making a treasure. Okay, auto yield. The treasure is generated, and now Deadly Dispute returns to the stack. We'll draw 2. Pair of rituals, okay. Not bad. We need a payoff. Another copy of Deadly Dispute. I'm kind of tempted to go for it here. Ritual, we still have a land drop as well. Ritual, Manamorphose. We're going to make black. Draw a card, another ritual. Cast it. Play the Shambling Ghasts. Then we'll Deadly Dispute, sacrificing the Ghast. We get another treasure. Draw 2. We hit empty. I'm going to sacrifice... Actually, no, undo that. I'll take 2 more. 13. And now I will Deadly Dispute, sacrificing a treasure, which will end up making up for itself here. And we still have empty. Okay, so next turn we have double Demonic Tutor. And right now we have an Empty the Warrens for 16. Not bad. Okay, empty on the stack. You might be looking at this deck list and thinking, Bryant, why did you play 3 copies of Experimental Synthesizer? It's not a card you ever want to play on turn 1. In turn 2, it's fine, but we are a 17 land deck. You're not guaranteed to hit your land drop. We don't have things like Lotus Petals or anything else you can reveal to it. So it's a card that you really only ever want to play on your combo turn, and that has a pretty steep cost to me. So I'm not super interested in that. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, a turn late. Okay. Let's go to combat. We will attack. They pitch a Solitude. Okay. They remove a Goblin. And now they're going to make a Construct. So they'll block and take 13. So on their turn, I imagine that they can get Shadow Spear and equip an attack, but that doesn't keep them alive. I think I'm going to play the Synthesizer here rather than the Diabolic Intent. Maybe I can reveal a creature to this. Land, so that gets the Dwarven Ruins. So I have a blocker here. Pass the turn. Okay, so Saga will trigger. I have to imagine that this is Shadow Spear. They should tap the Saga before searching. They do tap the Saga, okay. And there's the Shadow Spear. They play a Temple Garden, tapped. And now they can equip the Shadow Spear. It will become a 5/5 lifelinker. So this will bring them up to 9 life. Opponent goes to combat. They choose not to attack. We'll fetch. We're going to get the Dwarven Mine here and create a Dwarf. Alright, so that triggers. We'll get our Dwarf friend. Go to our turn. Scalding Tarn. Fetch. Grab the mountain. So I do have Diabolic Intent into Grape Shot post-combat. I'm not really sure what our opponent's plan is here. We're attacking for 14. They can gain 5 up to 9, but even if they have a Solitude, that doesn't work because the Construct token does not have first strike damage. And then they concede. Okay, so we've taken game number 1. I'm going to board up the Synthesizers or a Lightning Bolt. And I'm also going to board out a Relay for an empty. I don't feel like this is a very good Relay matchup. So I'm going to board in the extra land and the Empty the Warrens here. The extra land will help with mulligans and stuff like that. In fact, I'm kind of tempted to board in the Freed the Swarm as well. Let's try this out. It's just not a Relay matchup. You could also try boarding in Thoughtseize. I don't know how much I love that, but it's an option you do have. This hand is decent. Once again, we need to draw lane number 2. I think I'm going to keep. They've kept their 7 as well. They play Basic Plains and 2 Aether Vial. Yep. Take a draw. That was an amazing hit. Okay, we'll play our Shambling Ghast. Pass the turn. They have a charge counter on the Aether Vial, so assuming nothing bad happens to us here, on my turn I can Infernal Plunge, sacrifice the Shambling Ghast, create a treasure. From there I can Pyretic Ritual, Unlucky Witness, use the treasure token. Ooh. That hurts. Okay. That hurt a lot. Land? We have to play the Unlucky Witness now. Pass the turn. They use Aether Vial for a Giver of Ruins. So now the Vial will go up to 2. Another giver. Yeah, I don't think I'm winning this one. Take a draw. Dwarven Mine. We have to pass. They attack. We have to take it. Draw. I'm going to go to the next one. They got me. That's a bummer. So I could ward in Thoughtseize. I just don't know if that's really what I want to be doing. Maybe Thoughtseize is better than Feed the Swarm on the play. Submit. Yes, I'd like to be on the play. Reveal our Gigantha. I mean, this is like a reasonable hand that plays Magic. I'm just like, really wish this had a 1-drop in it. So we don't have any Deadly Disputes. Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have any creatures for the Deadly Disputes. We're pretty far away from Dwarven Mine. I think this might actually just be a mulligan. Like, this hand doesn't... It looks like it plays Magic, but it doesn't in reality. We'll go to 6. Better. Keep, and I think you bottom the extra empty. Play Blood Crypt, and we will pass the turn. My best draw is probably another Ritual. Planes into Aether Vial. Yep. Take a draw. Infernal Plunge. So, do I really want to empty for 6? I think the answer is no. I'm going to pass. Our best draw just became Shambling Ghast. I suppose Unlucky Witness still works. I just have to start on a Pyretic Ritual. There's a Saga. So, if we would have emptied for 6, this Saga... Oh, wow. I did not board in my shenanigans. That is brutal. Wow. Okay. The Urza Saga into Shadow Spear would have eventually beaten me, but I don't know if I can beat this now. And we even hit the Shambling Ghast. Damping Sphere was better than Thalia here, because I could have answered Thalia into Shambling Ghast into all of this. Yeah, I don't think I have an out in my deck to this Damping Sphere. Brutal. They activate the Vial for 2. And there's the Thalia. Damn, if they would have played this on turn 2, I think we probably win this. We would have had 10 goblins. Unfortunate. I think I'm just going to save myself some time here. I'm not able to win the game, so there's no point to just sit here and lose slowly. We're 0-1, 4 matches left. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2, we're on the draw, and we've opened up a hand. It's just tough because this hand is extremely clunky. We have double Relay, an empty, a bunch of 2-mana cards, and only 1 mana Shambling Ghast. Unfortunately, this is a mulligan. This is looking better. We'll keep this and get rid of the Diabolic Intent. Yeah, I think it's probably the intent. Temple Garden again. Utopia Sprawl. And they choose white. Is this Enchantress? We draw another copy of Diabolic Intent. We will search out a Blood Crypt and play this Shambling Ghast. Pass the turn. They tap for 2 mana. Sterling Grove, and it is in fact Enchantress. They play a Stomping Ground, tapped, and now they're passing. Manamorphose. Am I supposed to go for it here? Let's see what we can make happen. Infernal Plunge. Create a treasure token. We'll auto-yield. Desperate Ritual. Manamorphose for black. We had Dwarven Mine, but that doesn't do much here. I'm going to Deadly Dispute because I can still Galvanic Relay. Excuse me. Manamorphose, see if we can draw an untapped land. Red-black. We do draw an untapped land, so I can keep my treasure token now. And Galvanic Relay for 6. In this deck, Galvanic Relay is the card that fuels Underworld Breach the most, because we don't have Dragon's Rage Channeler. The Breach in this deck is not as powerful as it is in the Rule Storm deck, but that's okay, because I think that this deck is really an Empty the Warrens deck at its core. They played the Sith's Harvest hand, so they have their Enchantress, and they still have an open Stomping Ground. They play another Utopia Sprawl. Okay. This is going to be tough for us because I imagine that they're a Leyline of Sanctity deck in post-board games. And we only have the 2 copies of Feed the Swarm that beat that. I guess we have Empty as well, but they should be a deck that's pretty good at beating Empty the Warrens. We'll play Blood Crypt. Yes. And then Desperate Ritual. Whoops. No! Oh, I misclicked. Oh, that's so bad. It shifted. I meant to click on the Desperate Ritual. Empty the Warrens. Oh, wow. Unlucky Witness. I did not mean to do that. Guess we just play the Ghast and pass the turn now. That stinks. Really unfortunate there. Can't believe I did that. We might have even had a win with Diabolic Intent into Underworld Breach. I have to hope that I'm allowed to untap now. Well, untap and not be locked out, that is. They play On Thin Ice, that will hit my Shambling Ghast. Another copy of Sterling Grove. Sanctum Weaver, sure thing. And they play an Abundant Growth. Yep. We take 1 down to 14. And now we have to cobble together a win. So let's start on the Dwarven Mine. We'll get a Dwarf. Play the Pyretic Ritual. Unlucky Witness. Going to Deadly Dispute. Sacrifice the Unlucky Witness. Okay, that was pretty good. Let's not misclick. Play another Unlucky Witness. And then we'll Infernal Plunge, sacrificing the Unlucky Witness. Storm is 5. Cast a Manamorphose. Red-black. Manamorphose again. Red-black. Hold on, am I short on mana? I might be. So Diabolic Intent. Yeah, I'm a mana short of Breach. Am I supposed to just empty here? I think so, and then next turn I can come back with an Underworld Breach while they're preoccupied with the empty. Okay, so we'll empty for 16. They play a land. They have 4 cards with double Sterling Grove. They sacrifice the Windswept Heath. With Sterling Grove, they do have the choice here to pay 1 mana, sacrifice it, and then go put the answer to Empty the Warrens on top of their deck. So they make 8 green mana with the Sanctum Weaver. They play another copy of Sterling Grove. And they switch the green mana to white mana. They play an On Thin Ice. Are you just like opposed to searching up your answer? Enchantress is present, so every enchantment will now draw 2. They finally activate a Sterling Grove. They put Solitary Confinement on top. That is in fact going to lock me out. So you might be thinking if I didn't Deadly Dispute, I would have won on the previous turn, but I revealed Unlucky Witness, Infernal Plunge, and that breaks even, so I don't think casting the Dispute actually cost me, I guess is my point here. And there's the Confinement. I'm not going to be able to beat this, so I think I'm just going to concede the game instead. Alright, a little bit of a bummer. Let's get our Feed the Swarms. I could bring in Thoughtseize, it's just I think that they're going to be mulliganing to Leyline. And Leyline of Sanctity, that is. And if that is the case, do I want Thoughtseize in my deck? I suppose I can take out Synthesizer. Like, I'm pretty low on Synthesizer in this deck in general. I forgot that I already boarded in the Feed the Swarms. Geez. I think I want to bring in the land for consistency. I'm going to board out a Relay. Maybe I should just board out all the Relays and bring in the Thoughtseizes and try to be a turbo empty deck. Cut 1 Deadly Dispute. Let's try this. Game number 2, we're on the play, revealing my Gigantha. This hand is a land away from greatness I will keep. Also, Infernal Plunge will do. Okay, so we will lose 2 life here, and then we will play the Unlucky Witness. Pass the turn. We do need to find one of our 16 remaining lands or Infernal Plunge, so we have 20 hits. They play the basic forest into Utopia Sprawl. Okay. Draw for turn. It is not the mana we needed. It is another copy of Unlucky Witness. I'd say that's pretty unlucky. And then we'll play the Witness. Pass the turn. They play a Windswept Heath. They have 3 mana available here. They play a Sterling Grove. Abundant Growth, sure thing. Take a draw for turn. Let's get in our 2 chip damage. This puts them to 16. Fetch. Grab a mountain. Desperate Ritual. Or, I'm sorry, Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual. Manamorphose. Black. Shambling Ghast. So I could be risky here. I could Deadly Dispute and go down 1 mana. In that we can look at 4 cards to make a single mana for Empty the Warrens. I think that might be worthwhile. Let's pay it this way. 4 cards to make 1 mana is what we need. We do not have a land drop. That is a part of this. We had an Infernal Plunge. That'll do it. And now we'll cast the Infernal Plunge, sacrificing this Unlucky Witness. Diabolic Intent. Play the Shambling Ghast. And empty the Warrens. So we just put 15 power on the board. They're at 16 life. They play another Snow-Covered Forest. Sure thing. And now they're activating Sterling Grove. They put Solitary Confinement on top of their deck. They play a Destiny Spinner, so that means when I attack, they'll go to 2 life instead of 1. That's a Utopia Sprawl. Take a draw. It's a Wooded Foothills. So, like I mentioned, we're going to swing out here, put them to 2. Play the Blood Crypt. Play another copy of Shambling Ghast. Pass the turn. So now they're drawing the Solitary Confinement, which isn't a lock currently because they don't have an Enchantress creating card advantage. So if they play the Confinement, they will likely lock themselves out. It's not a guarantee because they could later play an Enchantress and chain enough enchantments together, but it's pretty unlikely that that happens from here. And there's the Solitary Confinement. They're allowed to attack, apparently. I'll just take 2. They play a Sanctum Weaver. So in their upkeep, they have to discard their last card and they do not get a draw step. So they will have to sacrifice their Solitary Confinement. We draw land number 5. We're just going to put big old Jegs to our hand here. Pass the turn after that. They let their Solitary Confinement die, and now they're adding 2 mana to their mana pool. Mana should not be a problem when they have Sanctum Weaver in play. Currently taps for 5 mana, so now they have 7. Alright, we've taken game number 2. Now we'll be on the draw for game number 3. I'm just going to resubmit. You could argue that maybe I'm supposed to bring in Lightning Bolts for their creatures, but if they lead on the Sterling Grove, then it's not even effective. Is Lightning Bolt better than Deadly Dispute, I guess? That would be my personal question. I think the answer is no. Game 3, we're on the draw. Once again, I've opened up a hand that requires us to draw land number 2. Our opponent's taking a mulligan. I'm inclined to keep this. I know that this looks just like the hand we kept in game number 2, but I don't know. Am I really supposed to mulligan this? This hand seems fine to me. We have 2 chances to draw land number 2, or even just that Infernal Plunge. Alright, so here goes nothing. They've kept their 6-card hand. Verdant Catacombs. Into Basic Forest. Utopia Sprawl. They choose white. They have 4 cards in hand. We'll take a draw here. And we hit the land. Play the Blood Crypt. Ouch. Unlucky Witness. Pass the turn. I'd love to draw another Ritual on our turn so that way I can Deadly Dispute into the empty. Okay, so they have land number 3. There's the Siths, so they have their Enchantress. And they pass. Take a draw. Underworld Breach. That's an interesting one here. Okay, so we will fetch. Let's grab another Blood Crypt. And actually, I can't... I'm short on color, so I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to just pass. And on their end step, I'll Deadly Dispute. I wasn't supposed to show them that I was willing to shock here. But I thought that I could go, and I can't. So we have to let them do their thing for a turn. Okay, so they have 4 available mana, 3 cards in hand. Sterling Grove, okay. And another Sith. So this is a legendary creature, which means it will legend rule out. But by playing the second, they got the draw card. Okay, so we're on our opponent's end step. I will now cast this Deadly Dispute. So we can play the cards off Unlucky Witness until our next end step. So I will be able to use these cards, and then we draw the... Wow, that's a terrific pair of cards here. Okay. So let's start on the Shambling Ghast. And then we will Infernal Plunge. Sacrifice the Ghast. Okay. So we've made our treasure token. I'll cast the Pyretic Ritual. And now I can splice Desperate Ritual. So this gives me 6 mana. I think I've got a deterministic win here. So play the Unlucky Witness. Sacrifice a treasure. We'll cast the Diabolic Intent. Brings me down to 4 mana. We reveal another Desperate Ritual. With the Diabolic Intent on the stack, I'm going to splice this Desperate Ritual. And now I just get Grape Shot. Play the Underworld Breach. We can splice from here. Okay, exile some black cards, why not? Storm 9. Storm 10. And then Grape Shot you. This is a turn 3 without using any creatures. Well, okay, that's a little misleading. A turn 3 without using any engine creature. So no Brawl, no Goblin Electromancer, no Dragon's Rage Channeler, that sort of thing. And that's sort of the point of this deck, is that like the removal aspect isn't as relevant. Okay, so looks like we're going to beat Enchantress. If you told me that we would have beaten Enchantress this league, I would have been surprised, just because this deck, being Rakdos, is very, very weak to Leyline of Sanctity. And our opponent has never had it. And we got the win. We are now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Welcome to match number 3. We're on the play, revealing our Gigantha. We have a hand with Empty and Rituals, but we have no creatures, unfortunately, or else I'd snap this off because we have the Infernal Plunge. We're going to have to take a mulligan. So this hand doesn't have the Empty. Instead, we have the one of Grape Shot. If this had Empty, I think it'd be a snap keep. I think now it's a begrudging keep. We'll bottom the second copy of Infernal Plunge. Wooded Foothills, we'll lose 1. We'll grab a Blood Crypt down to 17 life, and let's play the Unlucky Witness. Pass the turn. Blooded Strand. They go to 17. Prismatic Ending. Not ideal. Ay, we have to pass. I was really hoping that they were on Hammer Time. Don't think that this is going to be a good game for us. We have to pass. They pick up a Ketria Triome. Vernon Catacombs. Play out the Blood Crypt. We'll pass. So with our next land drop, we should be able to fetch up the Dwarven Mine, and that can give us some sacrifice fodder for the Deadly Dispute. They search up Rafine's Tower. I believe that they have all 5 basic land types now. Or we can just draw the Dwarven Mine. I guess I'll grab a Blood Crypt. Play the Dwarven Mine. This will trigger. Pass the turn. They search up a basic. The Wandering Emperor. I'm going to take this opportunity to cast Deadly Dispute. I want to make sure that this resolves. More mana. Yikes. Okay. I don't think we're going to win this one. They get in. We'll go to 14. Like, we just don't have anything going on here. They fetch. They play it to Fury Time Raveler. Sure thing. Draw for turn. Galvanic Relay. That's not a bad one. Pyretic Ritual. Desperate Ritual. Desperate Ritual. And then Grape Shot for 4. We'll point 1 at the Wandering Emperor and the rest at them. Galvanic Relay for 5. So now if we want to win via direct damage, we have to resolve the Underworld Breach, which, you know, not ideal, but I think I'd rather see the extra card off the relay. We do have 3 empties in the deck as well. Okay, so now our relay is resolving and we're passing the turn. They Leyline Binding my treasure token, that's fine. They minus the Teferi to return the Leyline Binding to their hand, that's a cute trick. And now they'll attack for 4 and I'll go down to 10. So they have 5 cards in hand, one of which is a Leyline Binding. Another relay. Let's play the Desperate Ritual. They Dovin's Veto. Okay, let's attempt a Manamorphose then. I'm going to call it here. Heading over to game number 2. We definitely want these Thoughtseizes. I think we also want the Blood Moon and the 4th Empty and that. We're going to board out the entire Synthesizer Deadly Dispute package. I think we just want to minimize those effects, and we're also going to board down 1 Infernal Plunge. Question is, do I want Feed the Swarm? I'm not sure if I actually do. Yeah, they have Leyline Binding, but I don't think that's the game I'm trying to play. Hit Submit. On the play, Revealer Gigantha. This seems like a pretty reasonable hand. We had turn 1 Unlucky Witness, turn 2 Blood Moon. I am in. Blood Crypt, ouch. Played that Unlucky Witness. Pass the turn. Yes, I wanted to see a Triome here and not a fetch land, so that way the Blood Moon is more effective. They're pausing here. Is this a Solitude on my Unlucky Witness? Our opponent wastes about 4 minutes and then passes the turn. We draw Infernal Plunge, which is a pretty good one. Let's get in there. Hiya. Fetch. That looks like an F6. Desperate Ritual. Blood Moon. Pass the turn. Just like we drew it up. Boom! Concession. Love it. Alright, resubmit, and we will be on the draw in game number 3. Game 3 on the draw, we've opened up a no-lander. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to mulligan this one. Alright, so our second hand is looking pretty darn good. We have... well, like, what card do you bottom here? I think we keep, and it's going to be the relay. Tough call. Turn 1 Misty. Another empty. Okay. We'll grab a Blood Crypt. Yes. And then we'll play the Shambling Ghast. Pass the turn after that. The opponent searches out Rafine's Tower. I'm guessing they're going to kill my creature here. That's a Leyline Binding. Yep. Blood Moon? Not quite. I wonder if I'm supposed to cycle the Manamorphose here trying to spike a ritual. Or if I should just be patient. I'm going to cycle because I think the upside if I hit here is so high. And if I let them untap, I think we're not in a great space. So here we go. Ding! Desperate Ritual and empty for 8. Boom! They Spreading Seas my Black Source, not very kind. They miss... no, they do have a land drop. It's a tap land, though. Oh, wow. The Spreading Seas is coming up relevant there. I wasn't actually intending on casting this Diabolic Intent, but it is relevant. Can no longer Thoughtseize them. After a long pause, we'll go to combat. They're at 10 life. And they just pass. That's a good sign. Another Shambling Ghast. Unfortunately, we cannot cast it. We don't have another Black Source here. Definitely being punished for fetching out a mountain instead of another Blood Crypt. If we lose this game, I'm going to blame it on that. That I was in a haste and I fetched mountain instead of just grabbing it a second Blood Crypt. I wasn't expecting Spreading Seas, but that doesn't matter. They Azorius or Archmage's Charm my Goblin token. And now we'll attack and they'll block and take 6 going down to 4. They do block and now they go to 4 as I mentioned. They draw land number 4. Do you have Supreme Verdict? No Supreme Verdict. Could be like a Cryptic Command. Attack. The Wandering Emperor. This does not keep them alive. Oh, it does. It puts them to 1. My bad. They're at 1. Am I supposed to play out the Unlucky Witness? I'm going to, because even if they Supreme Verdict... Oh, they just conceded. Even if they Supreme Verdict, I would get the cards off this, and I think that's worthwhile. But instead, we're 2-1. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match number 4, we're on the draw. We've opened up a 1-lander that's kind of clunky. We have the Unlucky Witness, sacrifice combo, but we don't have second land. We're also lacking mana. I think we're just better off mulliganing here. Sure. Let's keep in bottom Diabolic Intent, Blood Crypt, Ragavan. Well, I have some bad news for you. I have a Shambling Ghast. Yup, read it and weep. Pass the turn. They're not sure what to do. Sweet. Alright, play out a fetch land and we'll pass the turn. They have a Polluted Delta, Mishra's Bauble. This looks like Shadow to me. We'll fetch. Grab a Blood Crypt. We'll go to our turn. They bobble me, that's fine. Synthesizer. I'm gonna sit on this one, I think. Play the Blood Crypt. Pass the turn. They are, in fact, on Shadow. Alright, so here I'm going to respond. I'm going to Deadly Dispute, sacrificing the Shambling Ghast. And we'll give the Ragavan -1/-1. Deadly Dispute. Resolves, and now the Bolt will fizzle. They grab another Watery Grave. They're at 12. They'll draw off Bauble plus their draw step, bringing them up to 5 cards. Channeler, and a land. 3 cards in hand. Another Diabolic Intent will play Synthesizer. Triggers. Ritual. Let's fetch. Cast that Ritual. What's Deadly Dispute, sacrificing the Synthesizer? Storm is currently 3. We reveal an empty. We're 1 mana short unless this Deadly Dispute resolves, and it does. And now we have an empty for 8. That worked out well. They do not pay life this time. They Unholy Heat a Goblin with 2 cards left in hand. They Surveilled. I didn't see where it went. I'm going to guess they kept it on top. Underworld Breach. They can cast Bolt twice here. They Surveil away a Shadow. Pretty good. They're going for Bauble. Okay. Okay, the Bauble will give them enough eventually. That makes sense. Because it does create a free Surveil. Okay, they're drawing another card here. They Bauble. Shadow. Now the Breach dies and they'll have land, artifact, enchantment, and now they're drawing 3 cards. Take a draw. Galvanic Relay. Start on Experimental Synthesizer. Deadly Dispute. Okay. Let's play the Dwarven Mine. Cast the Dispute, sacrificing the Synthesizer. Ritual. Wow, that was good. Okay. So if I swing out... If they don't have anything in hand, I can Diabolic Intent for Grape Shot and win. So we'll attack. Ooh, maybe this wasn't the best plan. Because now I just turned their Stubborn Denial into a hard counter. That might have been dumb. Play the Ritual. See if they counter this. They did not. Ritual. Ritual again. Sacrifice this. Diabolic Intent, sacrificing a Goblin. And now we get the Grape Shot. Target you. Huzzah! We did it. Okay, that's game number 1. I don't think we want Blood Moon in this matchup. I think the Bolts are probably fine. And the Thoughtseizes are probably okay. And the Swamp. Kind of interested in the Empty, but I do know that they're a deck that brings in Engineered Explosives, which is a little bit dangerous. I like the idea of getting rid of Synthesizer, shaving on a Plunge, get rid of the Disputes. That's 61. I'm going to shave another Infernal Plunge. Gigantha. Yeah, solid hand. Keep. Bloodstained Mire. And Esteem Vents. Channeler. Just going to fetch, grab a Blood Crypt. Yes, and then we'll play the Shambling Ghast. Pass the turn. Kind of regret boarding on Infernal Plunge right now. We're only drawing towards 2, and it might be my best draw in the deck. If you attack, I will block. They play a Mishra's Bauble, getting rid of a Ragavan. Swamp for turn. They bobble, so now they have land, creature, artifact. We draw another land. Let's get in there. And now we'll play Unlucky Witness. Pass the turn. Lightning Bolt. Targeting me. So they think that this is a race. They play land from turn. I can't. I'm so tired I can't even talk. Yeah, you got it. Now they're at 13. No blocks. We'll go to 11. Another Channeler. Kind of scary. Grab another Blood Crypt. Draw for turn. It's a Thoughtseize. So if I play the Thoughtseize, I'm dead to a Lightning Bolt or Breach in a Bolt. Desperate Ritual. Pyretic Ritual. We'll bolt this Channeler. And then empty for 8 goblins. This might not even be good enough. Alright, so this will put them to 11, and then I'm 1 damage short of lethal on the following turn. Expressive Iteration. They surveilled away a Ledger Shredder. They put another Expressive Iteration in exile. So this knocks me down to 7. Blood Crypt. Tapped. That's a Shadow. So I don't have lethal here unless I draw like a Lightning Bolt or the Grape Shot. Infernal Plunge. Oh. So I can swing out and put them to 2. I just don't think that's worthwhile. I'm dead if they have a Breach in their hand. And I don't Thoughtseize them. This, like, if they have double Breach, I'm dead to Bolt. Or if they have, like, Breach Bolt. Well, they had Lightning Bolt, so they still have 1 Expressive Iteration left. Oh, geez. So if I attack and leave 2 back, they'll go to 4. That means Lightning Bolt doesn't kill them. If I attack and leave 1 back, I'm dead to removal spell off of Iteration. Or a Dashed Ragavan. So I can sacrifice the Unlucky Witness. So I have 2 Lightning Bolts and a Grape Shot. Also, any number of Diabolic Intent would win the game, I believe. So, if I leave 1 back, Lightning Bolt will work. If I leave back 2, they would take 10. They take 9. So maybe I can leave back 2. Hold on. So that's 7, 8, 9. No, okay, 2 works. 2 works. Okay. No, it doesn't. I just can't count. Holy shit. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Okay, let's Infernal Plunge sacrificing the Unlucky Witness, I guess. I can't count. And I even flipped the Bolt. No! Alright, so I think now what we do is we just kill the Channeler. Okay, cancel. I can put the Gigantha to my hand. Okay. So they have Expressive Iteration and a draw step here. They play the Expressive. And they conceded, yes! 3-1. Hell yeah, Rakdos Sacrifice Storm. Let's go get match number 5. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. Welcome to the 5th and final round. I am so excited about this deck. Feeling good. Let's just try to win match number 5. We're on the draw. I mean, 4 lands is a lot, but I think that this hand is just fine. Definitely a slow and grindy hand for sure. Wooded Foothills. Infernal Plunge is a good one. Yes, we'll play the Unlucky Witness. Pass the turn. They pick up a Ketria Triome. Is this creativity? Misty Rainforest. Land number 5, not what we wanted. Hiya. Play a Bloodstained Mire, and we're just going to pass. They grab an island. Shardless Agent, so this is just Rhinos. Okay. They reveal the Fury. So this is... Fury is a card that I am concerned about with this deck, just because obviously we're an empty deck, and Fury just kind of bullies us. Also, Rhinos bully empty as well, so not exactly the best Empty the Warrens matchup for Empty the Warrens deck. Land number 6. Wow. Not in a good spot. Holy moly. Play a land, and I'm just going to pass here. We're taking 10. I'm at 7. They still have 4 cards in hand. They are a Force and Negation deck. They suspend a Crashing Footfalls. Another Synthesizer. We're going to go pull the Dwarven Mine out of the deck to create a Dwarf. And then Infernal Plunge, sacrificing the Unlucky Witness. Pair of lands. Okay. Yeah, why wouldn't it be a pair of lands? Ay. Play the Synthesizer. Triggers. Another Infernal Plunge that I can't really use because I need it for the Diabolic Intent, I think. Play another Synth. Triggers. Can't even see what that is. Desperate Ritual. Cast the Desperate Ritual. And then I think we're going to Infernal Plunge. And then I'm going to use this Synthesizer. So the plan is the Diabolic Intent for Breach, but Breach doesn't actually win the game here. So I need to use the Synthesizers, not only for Escape Fuel, but also I need the card off it. We revealed an Unlucky Witness. So we'll play the Unlucky Witness. That can go over here, I guess. And I think I have to reveal like an Infernal Plunge here or else I'm dead. I think we're just out of it now. Every land in the deck. That's a bummer. Okay, need to get the post-board games. Definitely want Thoughtseize. Take out the Synthesizers. I wonder if I'm supposed to just board out the empties. I mean, we're a really good empty deck, but I know that empty's not good in this matchup. Maybe shave an Infernal Plunge? Let's try this out. Game 3. I'm sorry, Game 2. Reveal the Gigantha. Nope. I suppose so. Bottom a Shambling Ghast. Scalding Turn. Fetch. Grab a Blood Crypt. Play the Shambling Ghast. Pass the turn. I'm interested to see how this game plays out because, like, this deck is really, as I've mentioned a bajillion times now, an Empty the Warrens deck. We kind of just took the heart and soul out of the deck because it's not a good empty matchup. And I think the deck might feel a little anemic without it because our deck isn't good at filling the graveyard for Underworld Breach. So in order to win now, we have to play a longer game, and I'm not sure that's something our deck does well. So we hit the second land, but there's nothing to play towards because, like I mentioned, we need a full graveyard for Breach. So if anything, we want to find like Galvanic Relay. Play the Thoughtseize. They have multiple Cascade creatures. Just not sure. I think it might be the Brazen Borrower. So I'm thinking Borrower because we likely have to win with Breach. By taking away the Borrower, they won't be able to disrupt our Breach once we're doing it. I meant to fetch on their end step, but I accidentally clicked through. Play the Blood Crypt. Pass the turn. They grab the Steam Vents. And there's the Shardless Agent. So they played the one that was a blue card, which is another reason I took the Brazen Borrower, because I was worried about Force of Negation. Okay. Infernal Plunge. Guess we should just start on the Manamorphose. Red-black. Not quite what we needed here. We'll Thoughtseize them. They just have another Cascade card. Take the Outburst. Pass the turn. I don't think we're winning this one anymore. I think the reality is that you probably aren't allowed to board out empty. It doesn't matter if it's a bad empty matchup or not. I think you're supposed to just rely on... And I'm going to allow them to kill me here with the Violent Outburst. I don't care. I think that you are supposed to try to make it work. Like, board in Thoughtseize with 4 empties rather than... So this was like obviously a play mistake, by the way. I was too busy narrating. I should have blocked the agent. I would have not died, and we would have gotten to draw some card that wouldn't have won the game anyway. But my point here is that I think you're supposed to try to make empty work rather than just go around it. In the end, I mean, we lost to Selesnya Hate Bears, which is obviously going to be a tough matchup. And then we lost to a deck that's good against empty, and I took the wrong plan. So I think this deck has a lot of potential. I really do. There's some awkward interactions within the deck with having a lot of sacrifice effects and only 8 creatures. I would be interested in getting rid of Synthesizer for other creatures. I think Synthesizer in this deck is kind of weak. I think that is a weak point. It could be Channeler for the Breach, but I think if you're going to do that, you want more breaches. And if you want more breaches, why aren't you just playing the Gruul Storm deck? So there's a slippery slope there. I think there's something interesting about the sacrifice aspect and not wanting your creatures to live. If you have another idea for something to go in the Synthesizer slot, I'm certainly open to hearing it. I really am. But that's what I've got for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this Rakdos Sacrifice deck. If you did, leave a comment down below. Have a great day. Keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. But also, follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.